To go over real quick what I was saying about / and 2H, the / it's a great poking tool, and even if you're pressuring someone and they faultless you out, once there's some space, they may be tempted to press a button or make a movement, and the / can catch them. If they actually are pressing a button, trying to make a movement, the / will counter hit, and on counter hit, it combos into 3H naturally. So we can test that and go to counter hit forced. Let's just turn the blocking off so we hit and do / 3H, and that's a combo, right? Now if we take the counter hit off, doesn't combo, doesn't say 2, not a natural combo. Plus if the person is blocking it, and we do the 3H, that's special cancelable. That's a safe cancel. They can't do anything about that. So that's kind of the utility of the / especially if after they've pushed you out specifically. The utility of the / after they've pushed you out a bit. You can try to catch them pushing the button, trying to do something, and just react from there. As far as the 2H goes, you're doing stuff, you're pushed out a bit, the opponent's in the corner. What 99% of people do, is particularly at a lower level, they think they got to get out of this corner, and the easiest way to do that is to just jump out of it, super jump out of it, jump air dash, what have you, super jump air dash. These are all valid options, but Kai doesn't have to just sit there and let it happen. He can, once he's pushed out of it, just quick move right back in 2H. It's a really big button too. Let's see, what's the max range? Right there. And not there, it's the max range. Not there, but tiny bit forward. Oh, tiny bit more forward, sorry. It's been a while. There we go. I haven't played this character in a few months, so you have to forgive some of my spacing or execution issues, please. Now, by doing this move, the attack has so much verticality to it that if they were to jump, you may catch their jump startup frames, but even if they start to leave the air, you're liable to catch them. And then you can go into a combo from there. And being a 2-hitter, it's pretty easy to hit confirm. If they stay blocking, this will lead into the other thing we were talking on Twitter about, the jump stun edge, the / one specifically. If I see the opponent blocking, I can jump stun edge. What can they do about that? Really, not much. If they have a DP, they might be able to, but that would take some good and fast reactions or a good prediction. If like Bike in here, they have no DP to speak of. 2H, they can't do anything about that. But you know what? They can't do much about that either. You see, it still reaches. The jump fireball, it's a lot like a dive kick, right? In the sense that I can just throw it out above their heads. They can't do much, and I'm totally safe afterwards, right? It's sort of like a Street Fighter 4 or dive kicking right at the knee or dive kicking someone's ankles. So you can use the tool in kind of the same way and just harass people with it. Let's see, usually you can get up to like 3 of these guys, and they'll still connect. The farthest one, you know, a person can jump it or something like that, but it's okay. Usually you just do it twice. Oftentimes people will block the first one, get hit by the second one, and that's actually a good thing. The fireball, it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Let's see, how much damage does it do by itself? 39 damage, that's not very much. But if they block the first one, get hit by the second one, that means the very next time we're in this situation, they'll remember that. And they'll remember that, they'll block the first one, they'll remember the second one's coming, they'll block that. Right? Now that I know they're going to block it, now that I know they'll just sit there, I can, whoops, that's an accident, don't do that. Now that I know they're going to block it, 2H, fireball, restart my pressure. You know, or just go in and start doing stuff. I don't know what stuff anymore is. I keep wanting to do biking combos instead. So that's what I was talking about with the jump slash. Kind of a harassing tool. Force them to just sit in place. And once you're pretty confident they're just going to sit in place, that's when you can just make them block one, move in, and do some dirty work. Let's see, is there anything else? As far as people pushing you out, if that's kind of an issue and you're looking for what you can do about someone who's faultless defenses and now you're way out here and don't know what to do, you can go for a different kind of mix-up rather than just pressure and pressure and pressure and pressure, which Kai is good at, and you want to be able to do that. But if you know someone likes to hold down back or hold back and faultless a lot, you can always go for a tick grab. You know, this is common in any fighting game. Guilty Gear is no different. No different in that it exists, but a little bit different in its execution. Let me see. Right now I have her blocking, right? So for Guilty Gear with the tick grab, you're going to do fast, normal, good plus frame. So for Kai, it's going to be like a 2P. That's probably the best button for it. 2K works. And right after you hit them with that, you're going to do a slight walk forward and then do the grab. So what that looks like is not like that. What it looks like is that. There we go. Well, I'll do it with the 2K. There we go. You see it's really fast too. You can't react at all to the throw itself. You have to react to the situation. You have to go, oh, you did a light normal, throw's coming. Now what can they do about that? Well, even though this is slightly plus, when it gets the throw, I gotta walk forward a little and then do the throw. And that walk forward is vulnerable. Typically vulnerable to whatever your character's fastest jab mash is. And if they're particularly aware, they might be able to like do something about it and get a small conversion off. But most importantly, they're keeping you from throwing them, and maybe get to turn the tides a little more in their favor or reset back to neutral. If your opponent is jabbing your throw attempts, your tick throw attempts pretty often, then they're actually setting themselves up then for frame traps. So you might do that 2P, but instead of moving slightly in, you might do a slight delay into 2K. And you want that slight delay. If you do it too fast, they're locked into place. So even if they try to do something, their character is going to automatically block it. If you put a slight delay in there, such that they return to neutral for just a frame or two, if they're mashing jab, because you're plus frames, your quick normal is going to come out first, and you'll get a little counter hit. And then, you know, whatever you normally would combo from there, you know, whatever the actual conversion is, that's what you'll do. And now they have to think, oh, well, when that crouch jab, when that crouch punch comes, that 2P, I better just sit and block. And if they're just going to sit and block, well, get grabbed. So it becomes a little bit of a mix-up there. Let's see, what else was there? Oh yeah, this one I might have a little bit of trouble because I haven't played Kai in quite a while and I forget how the timing works on some of his stuff. But you had mentioned a charge stun edge mix-up. I'm not 100% sure what you're referring to on the charge stun edge mix-up that you didn't understand, but I'm guessing it's when you get the knockdown, there's a seal in place, and you do a charge stun edge through for the enhanced charge stun edge. And then from there's a high-low mix-up, and you're wondering, wait, how does that work? I'm presuming that's what it is. If not, I don't know, you'll just have to get back at me and let me know. I'll try to explain how that one works, breaking it down piece by piece. Let's see. Yeah, we'll keep her standing, blocking everything. I'm going to turn off block switching here for this demonstration. Not just for the demonstration, actually, but it's a good way to practice one half of this 50-50. So I'll explain that in a little bit. So right now, with those settings, standing, block everything, but unable to switch when blocking. Unable to switch stances when blocking. She'll block every mid, she'll block every overhead, but she will not switch to block lows, and that opens her up, right? So the first part of that mix-up is something that puts a seal in place and something that knocks down. There are combos Kai has for that. There's lots of starters really, but I guess the most basic go-to would be 5K nice low, and that works here since we have her blocking everything but lows. We can do 5K, that. So I got a knockdown, and you saw that there's the seal, there's another seal, and I can put a fireball through it, and that has to be blocked. I'll try to remember to write down the notation for you in a tweet. So that's the first part of it, right? It doesn't have to be from the 5K. Maybe maybe just caught them wiling out with a 5H in the first place. I don't know, anything. I'm not sure what else. It's been a while. I'm forgetting how Kai conversion works. You know, pretty much anything. 5H, 6K. That's what I remember as far as down. I'm sure there was a lot more. I'm just forgetting it. But also on this one in particular, there's two things to note. One, you'll see I'm getting a black beat at the end pretty often. Part of that is just not being comfortable doing the moves anymore, because I stopped playing Kai. But even then, you still get that black beat pretty often, and it's just kind of hard to get. But you don't have to worry about that too much, because you'll notice when you hit with that split CL, when you hit that split CL, it puts her in a stagger state, or puts the opponent in a stagger state, and if you do your follow-ups fast enough, that's a really short time that they have to actually complete the wiggle out to get them from a staggering state to a neutral state. A lot of players can't do it, or they won't expect it. For whatever their reason is, they just can't do it. And this combo will work 9.9 times out of 10. So just do it anyway. Until an opponent proves that he can get out of it every time, do it every time. The other thing to note with that combo in particular is after I do the first split CL and I do sweep into another split CL, I'm actually doing a little micro dash in there, and that's very important. Without it, let me see if I can do it without the micro dash. Think about it as well. Do micro dash and sweep completely whips, right? But after that, this is somewhat hard part, but it's really not that hard. You get used to it. I'm terrible at execution generally, and I do it every time. So you can definitely do it. Right after that, the slight run forward, or more like I just double tap forward and immediately go into the sweep. So, it is really fast. Usually I go forward into down, or forward into down back. Down back's probably the better option. That's up to you, whatever you're comfortable with. So, do all this business, dash sweep, and I can get a shorter dash than that. You can get a really short dash, and that's what you have to do to make it a true combo. And if you can make it that true combo, do it every time, of course. But if you get the black beat, don't worry too much about it. It's gonna hit almost every single time anyway. So you wind up getting that knockdown, you wind up setting the seal. From there, you can charge down edge, wire C, and that wire C gives you the time to, for the next step, which is going to be something of a micro dash. Not actually a micro dash, but I guess technically it is. Kind of a micro dash and then into a jump. The point of micro dashing first is to get a little extra momentum to make sure that when you jump, you're going to wind up right in the opponent's face. That's where you really want to end up. To give you an example of just how much of a difference there is, let me check this out. I'm at full screen right now. I jump forward, just a normal jump forward. See, Kai's foot, just for reference, Kai's foot's a little bit past where the table leg is in the background, right? Maybe his knee is a little before it. Now, go all the way back. Now I'll try to get a little momentum and jump forward. And look at that. I've almost cleared the whole table. That's a massive difference. So definitely get used to, after the charge stun edge, wire C, to do forward, up, forward. To get you right into the opponent's face. Now right after that point comes the actual mix-up, right? So, we knocked him down, we got that going, boom, jump forward, and now that's the low option. To go over what I did there, after the forward jump, I just landed, that's an empty jump. Once I've landed, as soon as possible, because I want my opponent to have zero time to react or do something, as soon as possible, I just hit him with a 5K, and it's basically the combo I did earlier on. Well, I should actually hit the combo though. And that leads right back into the same situation. Same exact situation. Look at that damage piled up. Right. Now, right now, I have Bike, and as I did earlier, I set it to block everything and to only stand. This is a really good way to practice the low option for this mix-up. Largely because after the knockdown, you want to make sure she's blocking the fireball, because people in real life will also block that fireball. And you don't want anything kind of messing up your combo as far as scaling is concerned or pushback is concerned. If you want to see what the real damage is on that combo, this is still valid, because even though their guard gauge is getting cranked, anyone's going to block that anyway. So that guard gauge is going up in a real match too. So you get a real sense of the damage as well. So this is totally fine. That's how you're going to practice the low option. For the high option, keep our settings the same, except the character is going to be crouching now. This one could be a little bit trickier on the practice end, because it's not, she's now stuck crouch blocking, so how am I gonna get a proper knockdown with the seal and all that? Maybe there's some ways, but I'm not too concerned about that now, because the idea is that she's already knocked down. I knocked her down somehow with the seal out, so let's just put out a seal for our first go. And mind you, I might screw this up a few times, so I apologize. This one's not as easy as the first. So I get that going here. Oh, see, I already messed it up. Okay. There we go. That's the high option. So what I did there is right after the stun edge Y or C, I did the dash forward jump for the extra momentum. And then just as I was coming down, I did an air dash. That's called a delayed air dash. So right before the last possible moment that you can air dash, that's when you would do it. You want to do it at the lowest possible moment. Obviously too low, nothing comes out. Too high, and you're not, well, okay, that example there. Too high, and you miss your opponent completely. And this is also why we have Viking in a crouch position here, because if she was standing, that would hit, or that may hit, I should say, especially with taller characters in general, that'll hit, and that's just not a good representation of what real life play is going to be like. You need to be able to hit the opponent while they're crouching, right? Yeah, from far back, it's hard to get that to a true combo. That's alright. Still hits, right? So what I was doing there for the overhead, I do that very delayed air dash. That delayed air dash, and I do slash heavy slash. The slash will catch it, is what really catches the opponent, and the heavy slash, sorry, it's really hard to do without, well, I'll go into why this is hard to do, the way I'm doing it now. But the heavy slash adds a ton of hit stun, so much hit stun, that seems really hard. So much hit stun that I can land a combo right after. So it's basically a double overhead, but you don't really have a choice. It's either going to be a double overhead, or the other end of your combo is like to jump low. Now, after that double overhead, you saw I went into the 5K, and it's just the same combo essentially as the one prior, 5K, 5 to 6K. Split CL. I go into Stun Dipper instead of the Micro Dash Sweep Split CL, simply because of how far back I am. Anytime you're too far back in that combo, you end with that instead. To catch them. Otherwise, you're too far, and this is not going to hit. The reason why I'm having a little bit of a hard time, or that it's harder to hit the delay air dash without anything else going on, it's because right here, right like this, Viking is as low as she can be. She's as small as she can be. But if I get her blocking something, that block animation is true of all characters. That block animation, crouch block animation, raises their hurt box. It raises it up. So even if I'm not perfect with my, what's off, I still have to have the attack on that. But even if I'm not perfect with my height, see, that was really high. Yeah, I screwed that up. I was really high, but I still hit because she was blocking that fireball. See, all my rust is showing right now. That was really high right there. That would never have worked if she wasn't forced into blocking. And you see that situation led right back into me throwing another charge stun edge. So every time you succeed with Kai's mix-up, you wind up right back in the same place and you get to do it again. And if you hit him again, do it again. You know, so long as you have meter. If you don't have the meter, I mean, if you don't have the meter, there's not a whole lot you can really do. You lock them down, you can like run up and just try. You can, go back to your usual pressure game kind of stuff, but you're basically not going to be doing the whole mix-up like I was just showing. Look at that, like she's done blocking before I even got to the part where I could air dash if I wanted to. So, not recommended. So, yeah, and it makes her hard to hit again because she's no longer blocking. Or if I went for the low, the empty jump low, like she has all this time in the world to do anything and interrupt me. So I wouldn't recommend it. In fact, even if I went for the empty jump low, I guarantee you she can throw me out of my landing recovery because she's in complete neutral and can do pretty much whatever she wants. So yeah, if you don't have the meter, you're pretty much just gonna. Actually, I said if you don't have the meter, you're gonna just run up and find ways to pressure her and do whatever you gotta do in the more typical way, as if you didn't have this set up. If you had the tick throw after that. I'm a big fan of tick throws. It's a personal thing. You don't have to copy that, but you can. I think it's good. Then if you do have the meter, remember it's dash up jump. Then from there it's either a delayed air dash or it's an empty jump low. That's the mix. Alrighty, so I think that's everything we tweeted about. Is there any other questions or things you might want me to show you? I can give that a shot. Keep in mind, I'm not like the greatest Kai player ever. Nothing along those lines. I just played him since Sign came out. Enjoyed the character, but really I was waiting for my main, Viking, to come out. So that's where my grind has been. But still, I don't mind dusting off Kai and just trying things out. So that's everything I have to say. Hit me up on Twitter anytime, and peace.